We are honored to be joined by our longtime friend, Dr. Lamont Repollet, president of Kean University and a former commissioner of education in the great state of New Jersey. Mr. President, thank you for joining us.
No, Steve, thank you very much. It's my honor and privilege to be on your show as always, and it's great to see you, my friend.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, we're taping this end of January 2022. Describe for us, big picture, what you believe 2 years plus into this COVID pandemic, global pandemic, has done to higher education forever.
It's changed the landscape, to be honest with you. I think that when it comes to higher education, everyone believes brick and mortar. Brick and mortar, whether it's in K-12 or higher ed, brick and mortar was the gold standard. But for the last year and a half, in 18 to 22 months, you realize that we can actually operate in a virtual space. Is a virtual space optimum? Probably not, considering that some of the inequalities and equities we have in education, and one being students in school, whether it's a healthy lunch, whether it's mentoring, whether it's just that relationship building. But we understand we have to be flexible. We learned that we must be flexible. We must have grace during this period because this is brand new. And I think that we must be learning how to collaborate more with one another to make sure that whatever the end goal is, the accomplishment, we can actually do it together. So I think if you're looking at partnerships and collaboration, flexibility, and opportunity and equity.
You know, Kean University, Governor Murphy designated Kean University the state's first urban research university. What does that mean, and why does that matter, Doctor?
It matters a lot for us. It changes the profile of Kean University. And two, it allows us to be considered a research university. However, not just a research university, Steve, but a research university that focuses on urban issues and urban-centered policies. And I think that's important. That's why. And with acquisition of the John S. Watson Institute of Public Policy and Research here at Kean University, they have a 30-year track record dealing with urban policies. They're a think tank, a think and do tank. So for us to have this designation, a research designation, allows our students to receive additional money when it comes to tag. That's important for us when it comes to access. But secondly, more importantly, raises the profile. You actually get more grant opportunities, Steve, when you're a research university. And I think that as we start the transition from your traditional liberal arts university to more of a research base, the opportunities for us to get more of competitive grants on the national state level is important for us, and also allows our faculty members to really have the flexibility to do research and focus on their research and have release time and have resources afforded them as a result of this designation.
Doctor, hold on. You said the John S. Watson. Is that the John Watson who was my mentor in the state legislature back in the day in the mid-'80s when I was there for a very brief period of time? Is that the John Watson?
Yes, it is. Yes,
is that Congresswoman Watson's father?
Yes, that's Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman's father, and John S. Watson is named after him.
What's the connection? What's the connection to Kean?
Well, there's no connection to Kean except the fact of what Kean's mission. And I think for 30 years they've been at another institution in South down in Trenton, the Thomas Edison State University. And I think now is just looking at what we're trying to do at Kean University and looking at an urban focus. I think it was a natural transition because, you know, there's ebbs flows in anything. And I think that the Watson family, named after, as you said, your mentor, John S. Watson, also the first, I believe, African-American that led a budget appropriations in the nation, to be able to do that. And it's our way of honoring him. I think that they felt that, you know, that Kean right now at this period of time, you know, this period of time of social injustice and upheaval throughout the country, is probably a good place for us to really be able to work together if we're trying to focus on solving issues in urban communities.
Yeah, two things. One, let's make sure we put up the Kean University website, but also Google John Watson, State Assemblyman John Watson. Not only was he, as Dr. Repollet said, the chair of the Assembly Budget, Finance, and Appropriation Committee, of which I was proud to serve on, but he chaired that committee with such distinction and class, and dealt with people who had all different perspectives and always respected their point of view, even if he didn't agree. And so I need to ask you this. There's a reason for this preamble. We're doing a series called Democracy at a Crossroads. When I think about John Watson, I think about someone who could disagree without being disagreeable. And our democracy is in danger right now. What is the role of Kean University and the higher ed community in promoting, if you will, civil discourse around incredibly difficult issues, Dr. Repollet?
Well, that's one thing that I think that I am just pleased to be affiliated and associated with John S. Watson, the family in general. I think Congresswoman Coleman and her family entrusted us to be able, as you said before, at a crossroads in higher ed right now. And I think as you're talking about these issues, I think we need to put these issues at the forefront. And I think Kean University is prepared right now to put these issues at the forefront. Our focus will be focused on urban-centered solutions. You know, the fact that the John S. Watson Institute has a long-standing relationship with the New Jersey urban mayors make it just really a transition for us that's easier for us to give us, honestly, Steve, credibility in that space. And I think that we need to carry that mantle. So we're going to take what was given in regards to just the lens in which John S. Watson, you're looking at the lens of equity and social justice. And now we look at educational justice. So when you talk about higher education, social justice, education justice, you're looking at the Second Amendment, our students having the right to be able to civil, have core discourse. And we need to facilitate that. And I think for us, the training will be in public policy, really understand that place. I know that the legislature last year and the governor signed a bill in regards to putting civil courses on civil,
on civics. Understanding these issues of race and understanding our history. And by the way, it is not lost on me that over your right shoulder, that is not a virtual setting, this is your office, and we are taping this on the 18th of January. Yesterday was what it was and what it is. I see Dr. King behind you. That is not there by accident, and it has everything to do with what we're talking about. Is that right, Doctor? No, that is not there by accident. That's one of my heroes. I talked yesterday about, the quote from the letters from Birmingham jail, what is it? Justice, injustice anywhere, it's injustice everywhere. So I think we really need to look at that quote, but it's intentional. I think that when you look at higher education now, things need to be intentional. Intentionality, meaning the work that we're doing, the practice, the policy, and also the performance, meaning the outcomes of what you get from there. So I think for us, having not just the symbol there, but it's the action. And I call it equity in action, Steve. Mr. President, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Repollet, we learned a lot from listening to you. You've challenged us. The challenge for Kean University is clear, and we look forward to future conversations together, particularly around public policy impacting disproportionately the urban communities in this state nation. Dr. Repollet, all the best to you and the Kean University family. Well, Steve, thank you very much for this opportunity. I appreciate you, and thank you, and I'll see you soon, okay? You got it. I'm Steve Adubato. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Bank of America, Suez North America, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the Northward Center, Johnson & Johnson, the New Jersey Education Association, NJM Insurance Group, and by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Promotional support provided by bestofnj.com and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association.
How do you create change? By cultivating hope. And we see that every day. In the eyes of our preschoolers, in the souls of the seniors in our Adult Day program, in the minds of the students at Robert Treat Academy, a national Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, in the passion of children in our Youth Leadership Development Program, in our commitment to connections at the Center for Autism, and in the heart of our community, the Northward Center, creating opportunities for equity, education, and growth.